Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we have New Year's Evil 2025 results. A crazy show with a lot of things that we kind of expected, but a lot of great matches. That's what NXT usually brings for us. But yeah, how'd you like the show?
I know I say this a lot, but this is overall just a fun show in general. Maybe the matches aren't your 5-star matches. Maybe the matches don't have the most amazing story behind it, but overall I would say that they're just fun matches and a fun card altogether, especially with some of the interactions in between with everyone.
Yeah, let's kick things off where we started the night with Julia taking on Roxanne Perez for that NXT Women's Champion, where Julia gets her revenge and finally beats Roxanne and dethrones Roxanne after 200 plus days with that Women's Champion. We finally have a new Women's Champion, and that is Julia. Yeah, how we feeling?
Yeah, Roxanne, obviously, as you know, is one of my favorites. She's been one of my favorites since she entered the Rumble 2 years ago, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at her and kind of looking forward to her career and what she has moving forward since then. And she's done nothing but impress me for the most part. She has some kind of promos that maybe not were the best, but overall, I mean, she's been an amazing just champion in general. She was a good just person to have as a champion. She's grown a lot since that time at the Royal Rumble. And yeah, I think she'll be a great piece to the main roster eventually. But to speak for the champion now, the new champion, the beautiful madness, Julia, is going to be an amazing run. We already see, things going on with her involving other people in the brand. We've seen just recently, I seen Natalya Hart kind of call her out on Twitter. So maybe that's a cool little NXT match you could do for fun one day. But there's a lot of cool matches you could do with Julia, and I'm definitely looking forward to her career just as much as I was with Roxanne back then.
Yeah, Roxanne has been probably the most consistent world women's champion that we've had in the past 2 years, probably. I don't think no one's really done it like she has. Consistently good matches. The storylines have been solid to good. And yeah, everything has made sense in her run. She looked dominant. I think even this match, even though she takes the loss here, still doesn't make her look weak at all. It's just today, Julie was just the better opponent and got that win. But yeah, Roxanne finally losing is unfortunate, but I'm happy because this means a potential call-up down the line. Or we have another big feud for her before she does leave to the main roster. Because yeah, that is my prediction that she will be on the main roster by middle of this year, without a doubt.
Yeah, she did 200 days as champion with this run, and I don't know how long her first run was, but she had a previous run before her injury where she was there as champion for quite a while as well. So she had an amazing time in NXT. She grown a lot, as I said, and yeah, like you said, I can't wait to see her on the main roster.
Yeah, and then after that, we had a women's fatal four-way for the #1 contendership for the Women's North American Champion, where Stephanie Vaquer also gets a win here, and she will be facing Fallon Henley, or potentially Fallon Henley, in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, this is another really good match. Women going back-to-back with bangers. How are you feeling at this one?
Yeah, so I did like the match, and it was fun and all that, but kind of what happened after I didn't really like, because this is a match to determine the #1 contender. Then immediately in a segment later, she's arguing if she has the match or not versus Shotzi. And then someone else came in. There's another person that comes in. Okay, just Shotzi. But yeah, so then now she has to have another match to actually be a #1 contender. But yeah, so it's kind of weird that she won a fatal four-way to become #1 contender, and now she has to do it again. But, it is what it is. It was a very fun match, though. Stephanie Vaquer showed off again. Kalani, always great. I kind of had moments of Lola winning for a while because she was looking very strong during this match, and there was a few times where I thought she could win. And yeah, Cora Jade kind of just helped make everyone look good during the match, basically.
Yeah, this match was pretty solid. I really enjoyed it. Everybody got a little bit of their offense in and got to show off a little bit. Stephanie Vaquer, obviously, as she should, honestly got the most offense and the most highlight in this match, I'd say. But yeah, glad Stephanie wins. If she does go on to face Fallon Henley in 2 weeks' time, definitely wouldn't be opposed to that if she were to win it as well. So we can have Julia and Stephanie be double champs in the women's division.
Yeah, I think those are, some of your two best women's wrestlers, if not your very two best just wrestlers in general in NXT. But yeah, those are who you want to kind of be looking at moving forward. Those are people you want to have the belts moving forward. I think her and Shotzi is going to be very fun next week. I do expect her to win that one as well. But yeah, when she does become champion, that'll be great. Her versus Fallon Henley will be amazing. But yeah, this will be great.
Yeah. Next up, before we get into the next match, we had a segment. I don't know exactly where it fell on the card, but we did have All Ego Ethan Page talking to Ava Raine, and she was kind of going back and forth how Ethan is kind of causing too much havoc and doing too much damage to people. We've seen Javon with his mouth wired shut after the attack he had. Cedric Alexander has broken fingers apparently, so he's kind of going on a mean streak, and he's kind of being a little bit rude to Ava. So who has to step in for Ava? None other than her father, The Rock. Shows face for the first time in NXT, and yeah, really cool to see Ethan get the kind of Rock rub a little bit, have a little moment with somebody who apparently he's idolized and one of his favorite wrestlers, it looks like. So yeah, really cool for him, and a really funny segment as well.
Yeah, it was pretty cool with him. He basically told him, if you want to be cool with me, he said, like, yeah, I want to be cool with you. Then you have to be cool with Ava. He was like, maybe one day I'll see you on the main roster. And then he goes off and he gives him a pat on the ass and forget what he says after that, but he says something. I'm sure y'all seen the clip by now. But yeah, The Rock, it's always good to see him. He always gives people these moments. And like you said, kind of a good rub, good viral clip for Ethan Page to go around and maybe build his stock up a little bit before he goes to the main roster potentially. But yeah, really cool moment from Rock. Yeah, very fun.
Yeah. And next up, we had a 6-woman tag match where Gigi Dolan, Shotzi, and Tatum Paxley do come out on top, defeating Fatal Influence. And this is kind of what you mentioned earlier. After this match, we did see Shotzi kind of interrupt the meeting between Stephanie, Fallon, and Ava and say, hey, I'm the one who pinned Fallon, so I think I deserve a shot at this title. And they kind of had a little bit of a stare down, and next week we will get Shotzi versus Stephanie Vaquer, and the winner will face Fallon Henley, I think, the next week or at the next big show. I'm guessing they'll do. But yeah, this match, pretty solid, I would say.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. Everyone kind of had a little bit of time to just kind of do a few moves. It was very short for a 6-woman tag match. Obviously, you want to give them maybe a little bit more time for everyone to kind of get involved, but that wasn't necessarily the case here. A lot from Gigi Dolan. She looked very good. JC Jane looked very good. Yeah, it was just a decent match in general, but probably the weakest match on the card if I had to pick one.
Yeah, and even though this might be the weakest match, it kind of goes to show that we started off the show with 3 women's matches back to back to back, and all of them were at least good to solid. It kind of just goes to show that, hey, this women's division is nothing to play around with, and we're still getting to see some of the even better wrestlers like a Sol Ruca or a Zarya, a Lash Legend, so really goes to show how good this women's roster really is. But next up, we had a sudden death of rules for the NXT Heritage Cup, where Lexis King does get the win and gets back his Heritage Cup that he technically won but didn't win, and then all that. But yeah, Lexis King is the new Heritage Cup champion.
Yeah, it seemed like he kind of didn't want the win the way he got it, because Charlie Dempsey goes to do a leapfrog over Lexis King, but he misses and he headbutts him in the crotch, sort of low blows him with his head, and that's kind of how he's able to hit his finisher. I forget what the name of it is, and then get the win. But yeah, it didn't seem like he liked it but right before he pinned him, he kind of looked at like, man, this isn't how I want to do it, but I mean, I'm not gonna say no to a free win here. But yeah, he does end up doing the win. He celebrates for a while. But yeah, really happy for Lexis King. One of probably his best match that I've seen so far in NXT. But yeah, he looked really good. Charlie Dempsey, obviously, is always really good in the ring. He makes other people look great as well with kind of the strength that he has whenever he does the cross body splash from the top rope and then he kind of rolls them into a body slam. But yeah, Charlie Dempsey's great. Lexis King is your new Heritage Cup champion, though.
Yeah, hopefully for Charlie Dempsey, now that he's probably going to have a rematch for the Heritage Cup, I wouldn't be surprised. But hopefully after this, we can see him maybe go against Tony D'Angelo for that North American champion, or potentially, if we have a new champion, he could be next in line.
Yeah, something else that happened kind of in between matches and whatnot is we see Eddie Thorpe get attacked, and he's telling Ava walks in, sees him that he's hurt, and she doesn't believe him. She's like, oh, you did this before, I'm not believing you this time. She goes to her office, and then a little later you see Obafemi walk in, and she says, yeah, I don't know what's going on with your match, but Eddie Thorpe got attacked, I don't believe him. And then Obafemi just straight up tells her, it was me. I did it. He was like, he attacked me last week. I attacked him this week. And I got fair. I just got even, and then that was fair. And Ava sort of agreed that, yeah, it's fair, but the match is still going to be a triple threat tonight. And yeah, we see Eddie Thorpe kind of supposedly wrote out of the match in a way, but that's gonna lead into our main event here.
Yeah, and we have the NXT Championship on the line, where Obafemi does get the big win and is your new NXT World Champion. 2 new champions in one night. Really cool moment. But yeah, this was a really fun match. How do you feel?
Yeah, this is, I think, what everyone wanted. I think more people are looking forward to Trick potentially moving to the main roster, as well as a Ethan Page and a Roxanne Perez potentially. But yeah, this is what everyone wanted. I was kind of afraid Eddie Thorpe would win for a moment, because I thought he would kind of come in very late into the match and kind of get a late victory, but he does kind of, as I said, he was attacked. So during the start of the match, he was not there at all. But about halfway through the match or so, you see him, backstage camera followed him he has a steel chair in his hand, and he's walking to the ring, and that kind of plays into the finish, because we see Trick go for a trick shot. He goes for it, Oba ducks it, which gets Trick hit with a steel chair by Eddie Thorpe. Obafemi just kind of takes care of Eddie Thorpe, throwing him to the outside as Trick's down, and that's how he picks up the win. But yeah, as I said, this is what everyone wanted. This is what we kind of needed in NXT. The kind of men's division was feeling a little bit dry, so now it's going to kind of spice things up, give them new opponents to go through. And yeah, I think it'll be a really fun run for Obafemi.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we wanted, and this is what we needed as well. Obafemi, as the new champion, unlocks a lot of new matches that are going to be really good, I think. And I think Obafemi's the type of guy, obviously Trick was as well, because he literally did, but Obafemi is probably going to have some guys that are going to want to go for his world champion from the main roster, I think. Or new guys who are potentially get signed by WWE are going to want to go after that world champion at first. So yeah, I think Obafemi's a great guy to kind of lock it up with anybody. He has a style that can kind of glue with anybody, it feels like. He's really had a really bad match since, he kind of been on his streak of terror, kind of. But yeah, glad Obafemi wins. Trick, I think, has served as a great world champion, getting one of the most over baby faces in all of wrestling right now, especially WWE and NXT especially as well. But yeah, pretty good match.
Yeah, definitely cannot complain. But now, maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, depending on how you look at it, but it's sort of overshadowing the champions in a way, because he took the main event over, multiple championship matches in one night. But The Rock comes out, he does his 10-minute intro, he does a little speech saying that basically Raw is where he had to be, but NXT is where he wants to be, and he just says how important NXT is to everything going on in the WWE, and how in 3 years someone in NXT could be the main event of WrestleMania, or they could be just completely out of it. But also he does have a quick mention of Cody Rhodes. Now may not be what you're expecting, because he basically just goes back to the Cody crybaby thing a little bit. He's saying how people before were saying, "Oh, you're being mean to Cody," and now that he's kind of leaving Cody alone, he's, "Oh, now you're being nice to Cody." And he's basically saying you could basically never win with the crowd. But yeah, pretty fun segment from The Rock. Pretty much what I expected after his first segment on Raw. Yeah, pretty fun little promo there.
Yeah, part of me thought, hey, maybe we can get a match out of Rock. Probably wouldn't be at NXT, obviously, but it would have been really cool to see Rock wrestle in an NXT ring, just because that'd be such an insane thing that no one would ever expect. But yeah, Rock being there is obviously a huge thing. Definitely going to have a boost in the ratings, obviously. But yeah, this definitely, I feel like maybe should have started the show, just because this doesn't add anything to anything. It's just him saying, hey, y'all are a really cool crowd. Y'all are important to the WWE brand. And yeah, let's hopefully we just keep getting NXT to bigger and better heights.
Yeah, just overall, it was, like I said, it was just a really good show. The Rock just made it that little bit more special. Just his first appearance on there, and his little segment with Ethan Page and whatnot. But it was just very fun. Ethan Page, I'm definitely looking forward to him going to the main roster. I sort of feel like that's potentially what that Rock segment was for, to kind of get a viral clip, get people familiar with him. Like, hey, this is Ethan Page, he's coming soon. I feel like that was kind of what that was for, as well as just kind of obviously helping out Ethan Page and Ava in return, obviously.
Yeah, New Year's Evil did not disappoint this year. Very good show. Definitely, I think this is a show that if you didn't or wasn't able to watch, you should go back and watch. A lot of great matches, and obviously 2 new world champions is something that I definitely look out for. But yeah, Julia and Obafemi as your leaders of this new era or this new year of 2025 for NXT. We'll probably see them belts on them for a pretty long time, I've had to say. But yeah, that would do it from us in NXT New Year's Evil. We will catch you guys in the next video.